Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily and today we have my bullet journal 2019 video. So I've been working over the last couple of days at setting up some spreads in my 2019 bullet journal, but I'm also realizing that some of them are ones that I just don't quite want to put pen to paper on yet. So I am going to start a Plan With Me bullet journal series on my channel for 2019. If that's something that you are interested in, please let me know. I don't know how often I want to do it, if I just want to do it like at the beginning of every month or what, but if you have thoughts, please be sure to leave a comment and I will think about my schedule for bullet journal videos. Before this video, I am going to be showing you first some of the spreads from my 2017 and 2018 bullet journal. I used the same one for 2 years and it has some good stuff in there, and there are some things that I'm definitely keeping, some things that I am definitely changing. So I'm going to show you some of these spreads first and then I'll dive into the 2019 bullet journal. Everything that I talk about will be linked down below. All of the supplies that I use I will leave in the description box in case you're interested in getting into bullet journaling. So I'm going to start by showing you my 2018, well actually this is my 2017 and 2018 bullet journal. I did use this for 2 years. I will link this down below. I can't pronounce the name, but it's Lectrum or something. It's like 20 bucks. And it has served me very well. So I will first show you sort of what my 2017 reading tracking looked like, how it evolved for 2018, and then I will show you a couple other things in here and then move on to my 2019 one. So to start, this was my reading tracker for 2017. I did a little bar graph thing for each month. I was also really trying to do the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, and I was tracking it here. I was trying to keep track of all the genres, the ratings, page count, and then some certain things about the author. Overall, I definitely did not need this much space, and I really wished later on that I had done it a little bit differently. And then I also kept track of everything that I read per month in this spread. And so I just wrote down the books that I read, nothing too fancy. And then I kept track of my favorites each month over here. I ended up not really using these two boxes at all and realized that I could do this a lot differently and in a better use of space. This was sort of just my general spread for 2018. As you can see, I kept track of the days up here, crossing them out as the day passed, although clearly I'm a little behind on this. Today is the 20th and I still haven't crossed out the last 3 days, which is whatever, it's fine. I definitely want to do something similar to this in my 2019 bullet journal though. I really like the aesthetic layout of it, and so I have something similar already set up. I did the bar chart. I did the bar graph again, but it just ended up not really working as well. I obviously underestimated myself and it just kind of got out of hand, so I stopped using this obviously in November and December just because it was, I don't know, just felt over the top and wasn't quite what I wanted. And then I didn't like the genres that I picked. I just felt like it didn't capture everything very well. It was a little bit too vague in some cases, and I ended up not really liking the look of doing the books by genre or whatever. And then these stars represent audiobooks. Obviously, I read a lot of audiobooks this year, and I'll actually be talking about that in my video tomorrow. I stopped keeping track of the star ratings as well because I started using half stars, and so this just didn't work for me anymore. And then I was sort of trying to do the Pop Sugar Challenge again, but I'll be honest, I was not very intentional about it, and I haven't updated this in a really long time. And then over here, I just started writing down the books that I read in order, and I hate this, but it's just what ended up happening, and I mean, it's fine, but I don't know why I went so minimalist. That's just not my style, and this just doesn't feel true to my bullet journal use. So yeah, but then about halfway through the year, I upgraded, and I really love how this reading goals page turned out. I love the bookcases, and I think that's just such a fun way to do, you know, like trackers. And I made mini goals for myself for the second half of the year. So I wanted to read 4 classics, 5 nonfictions, 3 buddy reads, and 3 rereads. I also had a group of books that I wanted to read this year, and obviously I did not do well with this. I'm going to try to do something a little bit less intense this year. I have several books on my physical TBR that I want to read, but I'm not going to plan it out quite as much because that just is not my style. And then this is where I was keeping track of the books that I read in a more aesthetically pleasing format from July on. So I kept track of 10 different genres, one of them being other. I think that's 10 anyway. And then I had this little chart for the dates that I read a book, the title and author, although I stopped writing down the author because it was sometimes hard to fit, the length of the book, either in pages or hours, the rating, and then I checked off whether or not it was an audiobook. I really like this. I have since found some other things that I'd like to keep track of and some things that I think will work better for 2019. And then obviously it continues on the back. And then I started keeping track of all of the readathons that I was doing. Booktubeathon was the first one that I was like super duper intentional about, and I love this little spread. Again, I was obsessed with this tracker system. I still am, you'll see in a minute. And I was just kind of playing around with different formats, so same thing here. I mean, the newts were really involved, so this is a much more elaborate spread than most readathons are for me. And on this page, I continued. I did several other readathons throughout the year, except for this one. This one I failed at. But I really love doing little readathon spreads. I think it's so much fun to find sort of a theme for the readathon or an aesthetic that works. And I will definitely be doing that next year, although I'm going to be doing it by month rather than keeping them all in one spot, I believe. So that's sort of everything for my 2017-18 bullet journal. Now let's see my new one for this coming year. So I went with a different book. This is just one that I found on Amazon. I, again, will link it down below. It was definitely cheaper, and it kind of feels cheaper, although I will say the pages are really nicely weighted, but the ink does run a little bit on them, I've noticed, and it might just be the pen that I'm using. So to start, again, I have that sort of daily tracker layout where I will check off each day. I used the same color scheme because I worked really hard on that last year, trying to find a color that captured each individual month, but also seasons or like quarters that looked good together. So yeah, I was really happy with how the color selection turned out, so I just kept it. Over here, I will write my sort of personal goals, and I really want to be more intentional about being good about chores and cleaning and stuff, which is such an adult goal to have, and I'm like not about it, but I just haven't figured out how I want to write that out just yet. And then this is mainly where I will be keeping track of books and such. So obviously I went with the coloring in the books thing again, and I mentioned in my 2019 goals video a bunch of different types of books that I wanted to read, and so they are all represented here. So we've got 6 classics that I want to read, 10 historical fictions, 10 mystery thriller, 6 buddy reads, 8 nonfiction, and 8 rereads. So obviously that's pretty self-explanatory. I will fill them in as I go, and I will write the titles of the books as well. Then down here I have all of the prompts for the Reading Women Challenge of 2019. I will link this in the description box as well, but I just think, you know, being intentional about reading books by women and like lots of different types of books and types of women, I think is really important to me, and so I want to keep track of that as well. I haven't really decided how I'm going to color them in yet. I will probably either do it by month or I'll do a very minimalistic representation of the spine or something. I'm excited about this layout. I think it's so fun. I love the bookcase. It actually looks a lot like the bookcase that I have in my apartment, the one that I sit in front of normally for filming. So, and then I just did my little pens because I needed something to put there. And then I have my 4 main channel goals that I want to accomplish this year. Again, this is just pretty minimal. I didn't want to make like a big deal out of it because I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself, but they're all here. And then this is almost exactly the same as my last year's spread. So I have all of the genres up above. I added short stories, and then I changed up the layout a little bit. So I don't really care about the specific dates that I read a book. I am really bad about keeping track of that, but I do want to keep track of the month, so I'll just fill in like 1, 2, 3, whatever month it is. Write the title and the author, and then I actually need to add another column for Goodreads review because I really, really want to be intentional about actually writing out my thoughts on Goodreads as well as, you know, putting it on YouTube. So I want to add a little GR column here, and then G is for genre, so I will fill in the box. I just will write the titles and authors in black because that's just, I don't know, more aesthetically pleasing to me. And yeah, color in the box, and then my star rating. And then I will probably do the little like asterisk in the genre box if it's an audiobook, similar to that bar graph that I had in 2018. So that's pretty much it as far as reading spreads and book related things go. That's all I'm gonna share today because I do want to start a series of plan with me videos on my channel. So each month kind of going through what I will be doing to map out my both reading and kind of personal events and to-do lists and such. I'll give you a little sneak peek of what January is gonna look like. It's not finished, but the title page will have this cute little wreath thing going on. Again, this is really my style, sort of the minimalist plus. It's pretty simple but beautiful and clean, and that's just how I like my bullet journal. So that's that. Hopefully you got some good ideas from seeing these spreads, and like I said, I will do more videos that are more planning related. This is mostly just how I'm tracking my reading in 2019, and I will definitely do up close looks at my readathon spreads as they come up, like when I post a TBR. I will be sure to include that because I think that's a fun thing in bullet journals. That's one of my favorite things to keep track of and one of my favorite spreads to make. All right, everyone, that is everything for this video. This is my 2019 bullet journal. I am feeling very motivated and excited to start using this. And like I said, I do really want to start a bullet journal series on my channel. Please let me know your thoughts on how you think that should work and what I should share, etc., because I want to, you know, create content that you're interested in. So I'm excited. It just feels so motivating to have a blank slate, literally, to just start planning my 2019. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on my next video. But until then, happy reading. Bye.